everybody, and welcome back to the pre-production meeting. I am your co-host, Josh Urquhart.
And I'm your other host, Austin Scott.
Austin, how are you today, my friend?
I'm great. How are you, Josh?
Yeah, it's good. Look, it's been a while since we've been back. How does it feel to be back after your little hiatus? How was your OzTag tournament?
Yeah, it was great. I smashed everyone as per usual.
Did you?
Yeah.
How far did you go in the tournament?
All the way.
Well, guys, as you can see and as you can hear, this is not Austin, believe it or not. We have a pretty big announcement to make, and there are a few changes going on at the pre-production meeting, but this is episode 26, and welcome back. This is the podcast where we followed me and Austin along our journeys of filmmakings before he actually switched careers, and now he works at a carnival. We fired him because there was just a lot of arguments and stuff like that, but we've replaced him, and he's never coming back, ever. Dan, what are your thoughts on Austin, like, truly?
I just don't like him.
Yeah, like, he's just, he's hard to get along with, he doesn't work hard, I hate him. Yeah. I hate him, but I love him. But actually, what's actually going on here is, as if you guys follow our Instagram at the pre-prod pod, you would have seen that, we were trying to get consistent kind of scheduled episodes going on. It was just really hard, and it's been hard since the start of the year, especially when things have started to like pick up, like in terms of our films, like my film, Austin's film, stuff like that, and then as well as like other commitments like work and like scheduling around work and stuff like that, especially Austin's work, which is so like, topsy-turvy, like every week, like you don't know where it's going to be. So we're like, okay, we need to come up with a solution to get more consistent schedules. So if one of us can't make it, then, we can still have an episode going out, because the key to anything is consistency. With the film industry, with this, I think it's really, really important to have those consistent kind of episodes each week. We have a manager now, Indy, and she's running all social medias. We've brought her in, and it would just be shit if we're just not recording every week and she doesn't have any like thing to do and stuff like that. We've got some really exciting guests and really exciting opportunities with brands, with products and stuff coming up, and it's like, for that, we have to have consistency. So a lot of talk, well, not really a lot of talk, we knew straight away, but our solution to that was we are now bringing on a third host of the pre-production meeting. Now, you guys have seen him before, and you're seeing him right now. It's Daniel Cugola, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. You've really, you've helped us a lot here, and hopefully this podcast will help you as well, because, this whole podcast is about holding each other accountable, coming each week with a little bit of progress or a little bit of spark of an inspiration, motivation, and idea. And you're in your process of making your film as well. Now, we'll get into that in, the progress, but what are your thoughts of, coming on the podcast into another little hosting role? How do you feel, my friend?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of the podcast, and whenever I listen to you guys talk, I'm like, I kind of wish I was in on that conversation.
Yeah.
So it sort of feels like a natural transition to me.
Perfect. And you said yourself that you were even thinking about starting a podcast yourself.
Yeah. I mean, just with a friend of mine who we just like to talk about interesting topics about life and art and things, and I was like, we should start a podcast. That's just like something I was thinking
of course.
Yeah, no, and then when you hit me up, I was like, this seems like a perfect
opportunity as well. And now you're contracted with us, so fuck you. You are not going anywhere to do anything else of your own. You've signed your life away. But nah, man, like, I really appreciate you coming on. And what do you kind of like hope to get out of this week to week?
Well, obviously the same thing that you and Austin have got out of it, which is accountability for your films. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. And I guess just a way to share things with the community as well, like what you're working on, and get feedback and stuff.
100%. It's just good to like, as well, like we have our group chat with all the boys. It's like bringing that group chat to real life and sharing that, because we have some pretty interesting conversations. Me and you especially, we see eye to eye on everything.
Oh, yeah. It's just us against the world.
It's just... I think it'll be interesting to share some of those discussions and stuff on here, because the group chat, it's an interesting place, and hopefully we get some of the other boys on here from time to time.
Yeah, I was thinking we should get Lockie on at some point.
Oh, we've tried these last couple of years. He's just happy being behind the scenes.
Yeah, right, fair enough.
But hey, look, maybe we'll get him on and we'll just blur out his face or something like that, and maybe he'll come on that way. But look, man, I'm excited for what's ahead. You're exactly like me and Austin in the stance of, we come out of uni and not everybody is doing stuff, and it's hard to find people with that passion still.
Yeah.
And you slot right in perfectly because you have that passion, and just like everybody, like how me and Austin were as well. We've all found ourselves in these ruts, that we've had to crawl ourselves, crawl our ways out of. Do you actually want to touch on that a little bit? Like, I know you touched on it on your episode of the podcast, but like, how are you feeling right now in terms of like where you are on your journey?
Yeah, it'll be good to give a little update, actually.
Of course. And again, we'll go into the specifics in the progress, but just overall, holistically, how do you feel about where you are?
So it's been I think I left my job in October at the videography company, and then now it's end of March. So what is that, 5 months? So it's been 5 months just trying to pursue film. And it's definitely an up and down just being on your own, trying to pursue your passion. It's with hindsight, maybe like it wouldn't have been the best idea to just leave my job like cold turkey. Like, because you still need an income, right? You need to be able to fund your films and pay for expenses and things. As we know, films cost money.
Oh, yeah, you reckon?
Yeah. But the good thing is that I have had a lot more time to sort of come up with my own ideas, write scripts and things, and just network with people as well. And that's sort of what I realized, that because I've talked to a few people in the industry now that have been working on big projects and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a crew member on big projects, you have to find your in, usually through someone else who's already in the industry, 100%. And they take a liking to you and bring you on board a project. And then you sort of got to keep the ball rolling. You get on one project, and then if they like you, that someone will bring you on to the next one, and then the next one. Like, I had a friend who was doing that for like almost a year, and then he went away for 4 months overseas, and then he's just come back. He's been back for about a month, and you sort of start from square one again. Like, he's now having to, call people up and get things rolling again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so you got to keep it going.
That's exactly it. And, I'll get into it in my kind of in my progress, but like, I've been speaking recently with people who have been on those big sets and stuff like that, and it's really interesting, man. And it's just some of the stories that I've been told, and it's like, that's kind of where you want to be to get that kind of experience, do your own little thing on the side and then get that kind of in. Except, I don't know, do they get paid for that kind of thing if you're just like on those big sets? Do they get
of course, if you're an actual crew member, like, I think if you're an attachment, I think most of the time you get paid if it's a big set.
Okay.
If you're a crew member, like second AC or something, you definitely get paid.
Yeah, cool.
If it's a big set, like.
And the people that you have talked to, what roles have they kind of had on those sets?
Yeah, like my mate I was talking to yesterday, he was second AC on a few big things. Like, he was on
Apes?
I don't think he was on that, but he was on The Dry, as in the new one.
Oh, number
out.
2. Yeah.
And then he was on Poker Face with Russell Crowe, and then other things as well. Yeah.
We me and Austin, when we were getting ready for the Babylon premiere, we went to get Austin's suit in I think it was like, I can't remember the shop, but the guy that was speaking to was like asking us where we're going and stuff, and we told him, he's like, oh yeah, I've just been working on, like, he was on Planet of the Apes, he was on something else that was filming here, and then he's just about to go on Deadpool as well, like Deadpool 3, and
he's
like,
just so random.
Dude,
I'm like, how do I do it?
Retail,
I don't understand.
Retail's like, yeah, I do that in my spare time. Then I'm back here and I get the income. Like, bro, he's like, yeah. One moment he's working with fucking Ryan Reynolds. Next thing he's working with God knows who, his little fucking acquaintance in Cotton On or wherever he was working. You know what I mean? Like, a bit of a jump, but it's really interesting. Also, I just want to preface, Austin is still a part of the podcast. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. It's just like what it's going to be from now on is we're going to have consistent weekly uploads. Well, at least try to, because we have things coming up like my set and stuff like that. That's going to take a lot of time, but we're going to try. We're going to try to do weekly consistent uploads, and having a third member. I mean, Dan's going to be here as much as he can, weekly, and then Austin's going to come on when he can. Austin has a lot going on at the moment, and life, bro. Life happens. He's a bit older than us. He has other commitments and stuff like that, which is, slowly getting a handle on and stuff like that. And he'll be a more prominent figure, once, certain things fall into place in his life and stuff like that. But he'll be back like every 2 weeks or something like that. But I'm happy with this, and I'm happy with Austin that he's, has time to juggle the stuff that he has to juggle, as well as still being a part of this podcast. And we've got a pretty good team. We've got me, you, Austin, Indy, Dylan when he wants to edit as well, when he can edit. And I think it's good that you've come on board as well to kind of, give that extra helping hand in terms of like dealing the workload and stuff like that, because you know your way around a camera, editing and stuff like that, more than me and Austin do. So it's good to kind of have that kind of, what's the word? What's the word, bro? It's that it's good to have that. You can cut this skill set. Yeah, it's good to have that. That skill set and a part of it. And I'm happy, and you seem keen with all of this. So
I was gonna say it's also good to have a bit of variety in the content as well, because obviously each week it's like you and Austin talking about your projects, but if I'm a third person also talking about my content and stuff, it's
insane. It's perfect, exactly. Especially when it's those solo episodes. Don't get me wrong, we have some cracking guests lined up. I don't even know if you know who's lined up, but just like people in and around that we know and stuff in the industry. And I've got a couple of my actors coming on, which they have incredible stories that I'll get into in the progress. But and then we got some other people coming. It's going to be good. We got some good things lined up, and hopefully more consistency, bring some good content for everybody. But without further ado, Dan, are you ready to get into the first topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
The wrap-up of the week, baby. All right, I actually need to search up what I've seen, because it's been a while. I've seen quite a bit. But why don't you start us off? What films or TV shows have you seen lately? Give us a little review on them. What do you recommend, my friend?
Okay, so wait, are we going to be talking about like our films that we've been working on later on?
Later on.
Okay,
yes, yeah.
Because this sort of goes into that, what I've been watching, because I'm writing like a horror/thriller. So I've been watching a few horror films to sort of get into that mindset and sort of
what ones?
So I watched Fresh, which you recommended.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's all right. Good. Yeah.
It's not like the best thing, but
I
it's
feel like there's a lot of horror movies recently that aren't that scary.
Yeah.
I really like horror movies that actually make you shit yourself.
Yeah, like The Conjuring.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I
guess.
What's an example then? The Babadook.
I just like stuff with really good tension, like Hereditary I found good, and then it's like like good suspense, and then genuinely like disturbing imagery.
Have you watched Midsommar yet?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you have.
And I'm so keen for his new movie coming.
Oh yeah. Beau's Afraid. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be less horror and just more
thriller.
He's described it as a nightmare comedy, whatever that is. But
it's like the whole movie's him trying to get to his mum's house or something, and it's just like
he's having like an anxiety attack, and everyone in the streets is like rioting.
It's going to be
pretty
good.
sick. Yeah,
it does. Yeah. What else?
And then I watched Candyman as well, the new one. I haven't seen the original yet, which
that's not great.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
again, not really scary, but
of course.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Another horror movie I did watch recently is Skinamarink. Have you heard of it?
No, what's it about?
A Canadian, I think it's Canadian horror movie, and it's very much. I think the premise of the film is like these two kids wake up and like their parents are missing, and all the windows and doors in the house have disappeared.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you come across this?
I just heard about it on the internet. People were talking about it. So what it is like there was this YouTuber that was making videos that sort of people would talk about their nightmares. They'd describe their nightmares, and then he'd make short films or videos that depict that.
Hold on. We've got fucking music playing. Sorry, continue.
That's right. So he'd make these films or shorts or whatever that would depict people's nightmares.
Yeah.
And they were pretty creepy. And then he ended up
That's cool.
Yeah. He ended up making a feature film based off it.
Based off it?
Yeah.
Hectic.
And it's it's very like unconventional, because most of the film is just shots of like, I don't know, like the crevice of the walls and doorways and things like that. But like the suspense just builds, and then it's really, I think they shot it on like a Sony FX.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Really? Sony?
Yeah.
Not bad.
And then it's like really, really grainy.
Yeah.
Like the graininess adds to the
course.
effect. Like there are shots where it's almost pitch black, and you just see the grain like dancing around.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
you see like a shape come out of it, and you're like, oh, like what's gonna happen?
Sorry, like what? Sorry. Dan. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, continue.
But yeah, it's just so suspenseful.
What was sent in the group chat recently about Greg Fraser using like a Sony for his next film?
Yeah.
What was that? Is that like one of these bad boys?
Not those, but like one step up, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
For something so small
definitely.
using on a feature film.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. And he's like one of the best DPs.
He's one of my
today,
favorite DPs.
Yeah.
I got his he DP'd June, right?
Yeah.
I got his signature.
You what?
I got his signature.
Oh, really? When?
I got his signature. I got Denis Villeneuve's signature.
What?
I got Josh Brolin. Because I got
You got
the
a poster or
big.
something?
I got the big. I got the limited editions like June, the Art of June book, but it's like $1,000, and it's like came with this card with the hand signed like proper signatures from all of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Is that why
man.
Lockie was saying to sell that?
Yep, exactly. I'm like, bro, that is a collector's piece. I literally have opened it like once.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting until like I get my own place and like own cinema room to put it up with all my other little like pop culture things that I have around my room and put it in my cinema room. But it'll be like something that you put on like the coffee table and stuff like that. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all good.
Interrupt you. But yeah, continue. Was there anything else?
I've been watching a few TV shows as well.
Yeah. You watched the end of You, yeah?
I did, yes.
How did you
I
find
really
that?
liked it.
Yeah, sick, eh?
Because it's like I had one thing sort of spoiled about the plot, but then there's like 4 plot twists that
There
happened.
was, hey.
And I was like,
what did you get
this is
spoiled?
so good.
Spoiler alert.
Can I spoil it?
Yeah, go.
Just the fact that like Joe is kind of behind it all.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of in
You
his
got
head.
that spoiled?
I saw
Fuck.
it was like from Netflix official on Facebook page. They're like when Joe has been Joeing the whole time. And I was like,
right.
oh, okay.
Damn it.
So he's behind something.
Yeah, right.
But even like, the very end, how certain person gets. Can I spoil how much?
Yeah, go.
When what's her name? Nadia gets framed.
Yeah. Oh, you got that spoiled as
No,
well?
I didn't get that spoiled.
Oh, right,
so when I
yeah.
saw that, I was like,
cooked,
Joe is a
man.
bad person.
Do you reckon there'll
like-
be another season?
Yeah, there's gonna be one more.
Yeah.
So-
and they'll finish it on that, you reckon?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have to.
What I like about the show so much is that they're always making you second guess whether he's a good person or not.
Yeah. You were thinking that he's a good person for most of the season, and then
Yeah.
it's like, no, he's still a shithead.
Because I remember thinking in season 2, because he gets his kill count up there in season 2.
Yeah.
He's killing people left and
Yeah.
right. And I was like, he's kind of just a bad guy now. Like, how are they
Yeah.
going to redeem him? But they found ways to redeem him.
Yeah, I
because,
know.
In season 3, it's like, oh, he's got a family and kid now. He's got a reason to stop being
Yeah.
bad. And then he goes back to it. You're like, And like season 4, and then they make it seem
Oh,
like someone
man.
else is the killer. Like,
I was like, damn, this is good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, damn, he's just not good. I don't
Yeah.
think he can ever be good, man.
yeah.
And it's just like, how do they top it? Because You is one of those shows where it's like just consistently good. Like
Yeah,
every season
it really
has been
is.
consistently
Yeah.
good. Like there hasn't been a drop in anything.
Yeah.
This one, when it first came out, people were a bit worried because it was a bit unconventional, not following the normal protocol. I think they smashed. I like the little whodunit kind of
Yeah,
aspect
because they
of
make you
it.
think it's something different.
Exactly.
And it's not.
100%,
Yeah.
man. 100%. Well, out of everything that you've just said, rate them all out of 5. Give them a rating.
Okay. Candyman maybe a 3 because
Okay.
I thought it was like an enjoyable flick. It just wasn't like scary.
For sure.
What was the other one? Fresh. Probably a 3 for that as well.
Yeah,
like,
3
it
for
started
Fresh.
off really good.
Yeah.
I love how it's like the first half an hour plays out as setup and then the title sequence happens. when she
Yeah.
gets-
I
thought
was
that cool.
talking to Lexi about this because she was asking me just for a bit of advice, like when she should put her Sasha's Game logo title page up, and she's like, is 5 minutes, what was it? It was like, is 10 minutes in too long or something like that or whatever, because her is going to be like 40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, the Avengers Endgame, remember how long, like, before the title sequence came up for
Yeah.
that? Like, it varies. So it was
Yeah.
something like that. Right? Yeah. What else?
And then like what I would rate. it out
Yeah.
of
What would you rate the whole
Probably
season?
like a. Because it started off like okay, but I think where it really came into its own was the second half. of the
Yeah,
season.
for sure.
So, but overall, probably like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good
Would
stuff.
you say the same?
I would give you all the seasons an average of about 4.5 overall.
Yeah,
just
I think the
it's
third
solid.
season's the weakest. But
What was the third? Oh, with Love.
yeah, when they're in the suburbs, it was
I
just a
liked
bit-
that. It was you just were always on edge, and then he had the little subplot of the dude and like having the
Yeah.
affair with Love and
I don't
stuff.
know, I just
like
found it
that.
a little bit corny. Some of that
Okay.
sort of just went into drama.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, okay, we'll give that a 4 then. We'll give that a 4. Was that it from the movies that you've recently seen?
Yeah, I can talk about more shows I've been watching and stuff, but we probably have to move on.
Okay, all right. I'll give you a rundown from everything I've seen lately. So, I went and saw. So I think the last thing I talked about was Creed. But I went and saw Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Now, as everybody listening knows, I'm a big DC fan, right? Just I grew up with the DC characters over the Marvel characters, and we've just never really had good DC films or a consistent good DC slate, right? You know, that's why I'm really excited for James Gunn to come in and kind of fix everything. But Shazam, so this was like the last movie before they reset everything, right? And possibility of Shazam like coming in later on. I loved it. I love the Shazam franchise in general because it brings me back to when I was a kid, and we'll get to that later. Brings me back to when I was a kid because it's all about kids discovering they have superpowers all of a sudden. These superhero fans, kids, like all of a sudden having to go and save the world kind of thing. I just think it's they're just easy watches, family films. You don't expect anything. But the nostalgia aspect of it for me is huge. And those feelings I got when I was a kid, dressing up in my Superman shirt and my Superman cape and my Spider-Man and, you know, pretending to shoot webs all around the place and stuff like that. That's why I love the Shazam franchise, and especially this one as well. The first one is obviously better, in my opinion. This one, I loved it. I loved it. People have been hating on it, so people love to just hate on everything DC. But I love it. I will read you my review. It's only pretty short. There's a lot of profanity, so I'll just bleep it out. F yes, F yes, F yes. Every time I watch a DC film except Black Adam, and especially Shazam, I get transported back to my childhood and to my love of superheroes. This movie was just so fun. There's no two ways about it. It's hilarious first and foremost, and the literal definition of a superhero movie. This movie, like the first, speaks to the superhero in all of us. The ending battle was actually epic, emotional, and fun, and the actual ending was also epic. It was the first after credit scene in a while, Marvel or DC, that actually made me very happy. This franchise just makes me happy, and I can't wait to see more of Shazam in the future because I have no doubt that James Gunn and Zachary Levi are good friends, so he will probably be in the new universe when they reset everything. But I gave that a 4.5 out of 5. No one will probably give it a 4.5 out of 5.
That's a pretty high rating. Yeah.
But for me, it's just like when, you know, a movie touches on those nostalgic emotions and stuff like that and brings that up, you know, yeah. And I don't know, compared to all the Marvel shit we've gotten recently, this one is miles above, brother. Yeah. It's miles above. Have you seen, what are your thoughts on the first Shazam?
Oh, the first one? Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah. Because I think, as you said, the thing with Shazam is that it's not trying to be too...
not at all.
Something or other. It's just like fun. You just watch it and it's fun.
Exactly. So. And you can watch it with anybody. You can watch it with your best mate, your girlfriend, your family. Like, you can watch it at any point, wherever you are. I think it's good. This one's got Helen Mirren in it, Lucy Liu, Rachel Ziegler, who is coming up and been like got in heaps of good stuff. She's the new Snow White or something like that as well. Yeah. Okay, so I watched that. I watched a movie recommended by my girlfriend, 13 Going on 30.
I haven't heard of it.
With who's it with? Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, okay. Oh,
and it's like when she's a kid and then she all of a sudden wakes up and she's 30 years old.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that was all right. It was just like your typical rom-com.
I feel like that premise has been done so many times.
Yeah, look, it was a nice little watch. I'm a sucker for a good rom-com.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.5.
Again, it's like you don't expect too much out of it. You just watch it and enjoy
Not at all. Exactly, man. Exactly. I watched the first John Wick because I'm watching all the John Wicks and then I think me and my girlfriend are going to go see it in the drive-ins, the new one. I watched the first one. It was all right. It was a good little action film. Yeah, I think some of the dialogue was a bit shit, but like that's not what you go into those movies to watch. You know what I mean? I liked it. I thought the fights were epic. I can only imagine that the ones coming after this is going to be great as well, like 2, 3, and 4. And I've heard 4 is getting fucking fantastic reviews as well. What are your thoughts on the John Wick kind of film series?
Yeah, I like them. I think they have some of the best action scenes that we've seen in films for a long time. So that's what I go to watch them for. I think 100%. They're pretty thin on plot, but like...
It's like when you go and see Godzilla. You don't go for the humans, you know what I mean? Yeah. Go for the big kaiju fights. But yeah... I watched John Wick, the first one, gave it a 3.5 out of 5. And then the last one that I had seen is I went and saw 65 with Adam Driver. That? It's getting destroyed by critics and stuff like that. But fuck, it was fun, man.
Yeah, okay.
It was like not the greatest film ever, but like the premise is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And like I won't spoil it because they don't spoil what's actually happening in the actual movie in the trailers.
Right. Oh, okay.
So there's like a bit of a like fuck when you when it hits you what's actually happening. You're like, holy shit, this is just turned up a level. Yeah. I gave it 3.5. I thought it was pretty cool. Some of the acting and the writing, you know, when you see Adam Driver acting terrible, you know it's not his fault.
Oh, really?
Was
he not good in it?
No, he was. There was just like, it was poorly written.
Yeah, okay.
Especially some of the dialogue. But it was fun. It was actually really, really fun. I do recommend going to watch it because the whole plot twist of, I don't really know if it's like a plot twist, but I'm looking at even the description here on Letterboxd, and they don't really give away what the actual movie's about. So, but I'll give you a brief understanding. So 65 is basically, it's set back in the past, and back in the past before there was any humans on Earth or whatever, you know, there was different clans of species that used to travel the galaxies, do intergalactical, you know, space travel, and these guys are from another planet, right? They are human. They look like humans, but they're obviously another species. They got advanced technology and stuff, even though it's in the past. And this guy was set on this expedition. You know, his daughter's suffering from this illness, so he has to like make the funds and go on this 2-year expedition. And you know, he goes on this 2-year expedition, and the expedition is returning a bunch of people back to their country, and they're cryogenically frozen and stuff like that, and he has to go. And anyways, mid-journey things happen, and he crash lands on another planet, and that planet is revealed to be Earth. 65 million years ago.
Is that the
when the
plot
dinosaurs? No,
thing? Okay.
When the dinosaurs are reigning,
Right,
and
okay.
So it's not really a plot twist. It's just an aspect that just makes it so
Yeah,
much
okay.
better, especially
Yeah,
with stakes of the film and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. But yeah, and then basically they have to try and find a way off the Earth to get back, you know, home.
That sounds
Anyways, but it's sick. It's not the best movie you will ever see, but it's a nice little one of those fun flicks that you can just go and enjoy at the cinemas by yourself. You don't need to bring anybody. But I don't think it's in cinemas for too much longer, but I do really recommend. It's got an average of 2.5. I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was good, but hey, go make your own assumption to it. So yeah, that's what I've seen, my friend, lately. And like I said, all of these things are just to keep the motivation and inspiration running. As you were saying before, you've watched a couple horror movies, right, to kind of get you in the zone because you're making your own kind of horror thriller of yourself. We're going to start the progress. Now, it's been a what? Pardon me. Fuck me. It's been a while since you've been on the podcast and you talked about where you are and what your plan is with the film. And we've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast as well. But going forward, my friend, what is the plan with your film and where are you at kind of thing?
Yeah, so I haven't actually updated you on this. So
that's all right.
Last we spoke, I was working on that black comedy.
Yeah.
A short film. Yeah. And I just wanted to make that as a short film to sort of put into festivals.
Wait, we're not doing that?
No.
What? Dad, what the fuck? Wait, so the washing machine liquid thing.
Nah.
We're not doing that.
Because that, like...
Hold on, what the fuck? Okay, cool. What's going on there?
Yeah, let me explain why. Because if I made that would have just been like a film that wouldn't have gone anywhere kind of thing. And I remember I was saying to you, I want to make a film and then I want to make a proof of concept after that.
Yeah, is this a proof of concept?
Well, I realized I kind of just want to go straight for the proof of concept.
Yeah, good.
So I was talking to someone in the industry who's gotten a few feature films and short films into like big festivals like Cannes and Venice and stuff like that. And like he knows programmers up in those film festivals as well that can help get your film in. And he was just
holy fuck, what?
Yeah, he was just giving me advice on like what the best sort of direction is. He's like, you can either try and make like a good, you know, drama piece and then just try and put that out, but it's like it's pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, or the other way is that you make a genre piece. So either like a sci-fi proof of concept or like a horror proof of concept. Maybe, yeah. Just something that shows that you have potential to make a bigger project. Something that an investor would look at and be like, hey, I want to see a feature of
And my question to you, right, and this is kind of like to do with me as well, do they like proof of concepts in these big kind of festivals? I wouldn't think so.
It's sort of, it depends what festival you enter into.
Okay, all right.
He was telling me he knows specific festivals that would cater more to that stuff and like...
Do share. Off camera or on camera?
He didn't give me the names
Right,
of them,
okay.
but like if I asked him, he could tell me which
Yeah,
ones.
fucking
Like,
nice.
and he said to me like, "Oh, if you make a good horror film or whatever,
Yeah,
he's like,
especially horror ones. Yeah, for sure.
He was like, give it over to me, and I'll help you get it into those festivals." I was like, amazing. So
bro,
that's an opportunity I feel like I have to sort of take advantage of because it's
when
just
you have those opportunities, full steam ahead, brother.
Exactly
They don't
right.
come up every day.
So right now I want to develop a full length horror / thriller script because I've always wanted to.
I've always wanted to do horror
like
as
a
well.
psychological thriller or horror, and I was like, well, now's the perfect time.
Perfect time, brother.
Yeah, so I want to write like a full length film and then do a proof of concept for it. And then, you know, if somehow someone likes it and wants to put more money into it, then I've got the full thing that we can make. And
fuck.
yeah.
All right, without spoiling what it's actually about, you can tell me off camera. Could you log line it yet?
Well, that's the thing. I've been stuck trying to get like a good premise that means something to me.
Okay.
So I've got like a few different premises that I've outlined.
Okay.
I had one that I thought you would quite like. It's about like a magician that is sort of psychotic. So he like...
If you need a magician, brother.
So he like captures this girl and wants her to be like his assistant.
Okay.
And is like showing her the tricks. And basically his motivation is that like people in contemporary society are always asking for more and more, bigger and better. So he's getting to the point where he does this big like magician show, but it's like he's like killing people during it. Like he pulls like a rabbit out of a hat, but it's like dead. Like it's like all
that's
disgusting.
Dark.
And then
that's
like, you know, like
hectic,
sawing through
bro.
someone who's actually like killing someone and stuff.
That is hectic.
And then he's like trying to bring this girl into this world, and like she's like, I don't know, I guess combating with it.
I don't think any idea you can tell me can stray me away from that one.
Yeah, so that's kind of... So I had a few different premises, and I'm just trying to outline what the deeper themes are of them and which deeper themes connect with me. Because I think a mistake I've made in the past, and you picked up on this with my black comedy script, is that sometimes I'll come up with a premise that I like, but I don't think about whether the deeper themes connect with me initially. Yeah. Like I just start writing and then I figure it out later and it's like, oh, this might not necessarily be what I want. So now I'm trying to do all the groundwork before I dive into the writing process.
That's exactly what I do as well.
Yeah.
You got to do as much groundwork, and then, you know, the moment, you know, you're ready to start writing is the moment when the characters that you've written start to have conversations in your head. Yeah. You know, that's when you start. I know it sounds psychotic, but like that's exactly what 100%. And it, you know, you're talking about themes and stuff, and you know, it's a real fuck man, if you've got themes that relate to you, that's the best that you can hope for. You don't always have to have themes. You can have characters that relate to you, you know, character arcs that maybe you're banging on or something like that. But if you have themes, that's the best possible scenario you can be in, especially if it links to you.
Yeah. Can I pitch one more idea?
Go. Yeah, let's do it.
This one has sort of been sticking in my mind as well a bit. So it's sort of about, it could be one person or I guess multiple people that are being haunted or like killed or followed by this person. Think of like, it's like this undead sort of creature person thing. Like think of The Ring, but like... So like some, you know, some demonic sort of thing with long hair, whatever. But they're always wet, like covered in liquid and like dripping and stuff. It follows them everywhere. And they also manifest in water. So like, you know, there's a tap running or the bath running. That's where they can appear and kill the person.
That's cool.
And then there's this one person, our protagonist, who is like being followed primarily by this villain. Yep. And then the movie goes on and it's about them. Like the person's just trying to escape constantly. And it seems like they know something about this villain. Yeah. And then it's revealed that the reason this undead thing is trying to haunt the main character is because they're brothers or sisters or relatives, and the undead person drowned in a pool or at a beach or something 20 years earlier, and it was his fault, the protagonist's fault. Right. And so it's like his guilt coming back to get him. A manifestation of that, and like manifest in the pool, and then
good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling some kind of James Wan vibes with that kind of story. Yeah, you could really cement yourself in the horror genre here, my friend.
Yeah, I was thinking about the style of it, and I really like horror movies that they're not too visual effects heavy, because I find as soon as I see something that's visual effects in a movie, I'm like subconsciously I'm like, that's fake, and I'm not scared. Yeah, but I really like.
Good point.
I really like when the camera just cuts to something, and that's why I love Hereditary, because it's just, it'll cut to something and there's just a naked guy smiling in the corner. And it's so creepy. Oh,
you love naked guys smiling.
I do. I love it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, just like random things that just pop up, and then you don't know when it's gonna like jump out and scare you.
Yeah,
Like
right.
that, I love that suspense. That's why I love the Lights Out short film as well. I actually love it more than the feature. I didn't think the feature was that scary, but the short film, it's just like 2 minutes long.
Have you seen Don't Breathe?
Yeah, that's good. But it's
that's
not
good.
really horror. I'd say more thriller.
Thriller, yeah, I guess.
But
So.
that is a good flick. I did enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I actually got goosebumps, especially the Magician one. I think that's.
Do you like that one more than the second one?
Yeah, because it's more of a character study, I think.
Yeah.
And you can really dive deep into that character.
Yeah.
And just when you said that, it's more visually appealing to me than the other one. It's still a good idea, the other one as well. But like, I can imagine, just like I know it's gonna sound, I can see the tone. Of it.
Because like, picture this: if I made a short film proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine like this girl wakes up in like a big auditorium, and then the magician's just there. He's got like a scar on his face, but it's like sort of black, and then he's just
hire
got this
out
hat,
like a big circus fucking thing.
Yeah, he pulls like a rabbit out, but it's like skinned and like bloody.
Yeah, and that's the thing about if it's a character study, those proof of concepts are easier to make. Because, for example, mine, I'm more doing a proof of concept on the story, whereas that is a perfect opportunity to do a proof of concept on the character and then build a bigger story around it when you get the funding for it.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
The other thing I really want to do is sort of bring a bit more narrative strength to horror movies, because a lot of horror movies I've watched, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I really like Ari Aster, because his films have really good symbolism. They have good themes and character arcs as well, and they're genuinely like terrifying as well. It brings everything together.
He's a master of the craft. I actually did a uni visual essay on him where we had to do that for an assignment, and I broke down Midsummer. And I can't recommend Midsummer enough if you haven't seen it. Like, it is the most fucked movie I've ever seen. I showed it to my mates when we were away once, just on a like boys getaway. I'm like, hey boys, you want to see a movie? And I showed it to them, and their faces at the end of the movie, how shook they all were.
Yeah.
Man, I don't blame them. That movie's cooked.
Another thing I really want to do in a horror movie is sort of have characters act a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Because I hate in horror movies how it's always like people move so slowly.
Yeah.
I want to have like a scene where someone just like there's a noise in the house and they just run straight towards it. Like, who's there? Like, you know, like, half the time in real life, if you hear noises, you just want to get it over with and go check it out, as opposed to like slowly creep towards the door. You know what I mean? I get it for the suspense, but I want like to break
just
those tropes a little bit.
Yeah,
and just show like
that's good, mate. Because the horror genre, it's really hard to make a horror genre that doesn't just stick to those tropes these days. If you can somehow reinvent that genre, even by breaking tropes, that's the way, man.
Yeah. One more thing I want to touch upon with horror, and that goes back to what I was saying before about the proof of concept, is that you'll notice that a lot of horror movies are made for cheap.
Yeah.
And they make a huge profit as well. Like, you're talking about this with the Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah, dude. Fucking hell. Actually, I'm going to check what that's on. Keep talking.
Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I've been looking up box office numbers for horror movies recently, and it's like, even horror movies that I thought, like they probably bombed or something, like people weren't that interested, made crazy profits.
Like what?
Like I was looking up The Black Phone recently.
Yeah,
and
with
I
Ethan
think,
Hawke.
and like I didn't hear many people talking about that.
Austin hated that movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, this probably didn't do well at box office. I think it had a small budget, and it like...
Horror is so... If you want to make an indie film, horror is the way to go.
Yeah,
100%. Okay, Blood and Honey, right? It was made for...
That's the same. It was like 100K, right? And it
100K.
made like 2 million?
No, it's now on 4.2 million.
Yeah, see, exactly. Like...
Bro... Insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. That guy, he wants to do horror movies on like the Ninja Turtles and stuff, and people are like, don't you dare fucking go near that IP, right? Yeah. But that's really...
Is that in the public domain? It wouldn't
Ninja
be.
Turtles?
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. Maybe they're coming close to the public domain. I don't know. Seth Rogen's got that new Ninja Turtles movie coming out.
Oh, yeah.
The animated
it's
one.
Like Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
All the movies are starting to take that style now.
Yeah, mate, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
It's good, but, it's one of those things where once they all start doing it.
Yeah. Okay, in terms of schedule, bro, in terms of this film, when... I know we had an original schedule, like when you come back from Urquhart. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, I want to... It's... Because now I have to write a full-length film and then...
Not necessarily. You can get a structure.
I guess. I guess I would just like to.
Yeah, fair.
So, to be honest, I've never actually finished a feature-length script. I always get like... I don't know. I just delve into my ideas too quick, and I don't do the work from the ground up, which is what I really want to. I want to do it properly this time.
Yeah, for sure,
That's
man.
what I'm doing.
Or you can do what I do. I'm writing the feature for Ozma as soon as this goes into post. So it's up to you, because then I don't know.
True,
It's up to you if you want to make something, and I do suggest making something this year. Whether it's something
100%
little
I
or
will.
whatever.
I think I'll make the proof of concept when I come back from Europe.
I'll tell you what's really interesting as well, bro, is that we've got two perspectives on this podcast already. We've got Austin's, who he already had written the film, and we started this podcast, and it was him already written the film and making it, right? We've had me, who had an idea but still had to do breakdowns and shit like that, and now we have you literally from conception. So we have 3 different stages of where 3 different filmmakers have started their journey, right, on a specific film, and I think it would be really interesting. But let's crack something out by the end of this year. It doesn't have to be finished.
No, that's my plan, 100%.
Even if it's that, I think it's that proof of, I think like even just like a 3-minute, 4-minute proof of concept, like of that, it can be set in that auditorium.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We hire out massive fucking like tent gazebo thing, like olden day like circus, and
I want it to be contemporary.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair. Sorry, I don't know why I said olden day.
No,
I think my head's just already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, okay, cool. So you want to definitely get something done by the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The other thing is that the money thing, because I'm going to spend a lot of money in Europe, so I need to get a bit of money coming in.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And I think that maybe you conceptualize until you go to Europe, and then when you come back, you see how much you've spent, and then you write.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you can write.
Yeah, definitely.
To do with how much money you want to spend on it. Yeah, but that's a good plan. All right, cool. I'm going to get into mine now. Sure. Thank you for that, Dan. That's very exciting. Let's do the Magician film. And hey, bro, if you need a producer, man, I'm just like...
Of course. Do you know a guy? Austin, he's pretty good.
Oh, gosh. Alrighty, cool. So now, the progress for me. It's been a while since I've updated everybody, and there's been a lot fucking going on. I think just the week before that we did our last podcast, the week after, I was going to start the Actors Coffees. And I can now say I've met every single person. I'm now addicted to coffee. No, I'm joking. I'm not addicted to coffee, bro. I was having like 3 a day, and I had to change it up, get juice like once upon a time. I was just having meetings after meetings, and dude, all these guys are fucking incredible. Not only, like I said, I'm so lucky. Not only are they talented, they're good people, brother, and like they all have their own story where they've come from, and like it's just so interesting, which is why I want a couple of them on the podcast to tell that story. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's insane. I've met Tom Holland's body double now, you know what I mean? Like, just like shit like that you just don't expect. Like, it's just funny as, and it's been so eye-opening, and what's really blown me away is I honestly don't believe in a small role. I think everybody has an equally as important part. The film is a big jigsaw, and they all are a piece of that puzzle. No piece of the jigsaw is bigger than the other. And just seeing how deep these guys go into their character and what they can discover and how it aligns with my beliefs and explanations on the character. And, you know, through that, I've discovered more things and, you know, more understanding of the character itself. I might have started with an idea and now I've just built on it because I've asked every single one of them what their understanding of the character is at the moment. They haven't read the full book. I have. But one of the ladies actually found the full book and now they're all reading the full book.
Yeah.
But it's just so interesting. And one of the patterns that I've discovered throughout all these characters in my film is the theme of duality. And when I say duality, I mean the premise of putting on a front and then completely meaning something else behind that. They all have this outer shell. Every single one of the characters, they all have this outer shell that either society puts on them or they put on them for some way or reason. But to get to their solution, to complete their character arc, to get from start to finish, they have to learn to break that outer shell and become the person they need to be to get to where they want to be. And it's really interesting because every single character follows that exact same pattern, right? With Sir Frederick Roy, with, you know, even the Lady Raymingford, who's the party host, bro. She's like almost this Marilyn Monroe type character, you know, putting on this front of just like, I need to impress everybody, but, you know, underneath everything. It's just alone, always wanting more, always wanting that next piece of attention and stuff like that. And little things like that, just like when people were telling me about it, and that's what I thought as well. I didn't realize how prominent it was between all the characters, but every single person has brought something new and something that relates to how I thought of the character, and it's just going to make everything so much better. And it's just, I could not be more excited for what's to come, and how I couldn't be more confident that these guys are going to give the performance of their lifetime, and it's going to be fucking epic. And you know what? That's the final piece of the puzzle, is to get these actors ready, because everything else is coming together. And I'll talk about that now. So we had an unfortunate situation where our DP had to drop out, James, unfortunately, because he's shooting a feature film over in China, and half of the cast, well, not half, all of the cast that he was working with on that film all of a sudden asked for half the production budget. So they had to push it back a month and delay it, and he was going to come here back just in time. He can't do that anymore, which is fine. We have another DOP, Connor Jansen, and he's so fucking talented, man, and me and him get along really well, and we're bouncing off ideas, and I think it's really good because he lives around here. I can go to the locations with him. We can scout out beforehand. I don't think I thought that far ahead how much of a problem that was going to be, with James not being able to be here until like a week before. And like now Connor can come to the blocking, the staging, and you know, we can go to the locations with each other, and he can meet all the other heads of departments and stuff like that. So that's really good. I finished the new shot list completely now, which is really, really good. Nice.
So you guys started from scratch, yeah?
We started from scratch using my storyboards, because I storyboarded the whole film as a base, and we built from that. Basically, it's very similar to James's, because we're going off the storyboards. But in saying that, it's he did sprinkle his own ideas on it, which I invite creativity from all heads of departments. I want to give them as much creative freedom as possible. Film is a collaborative process, and I invite everybody's own vision, because I feel like if you get everybody's own vision, they all have their little, you know, they all feel like they can give something to this film which makes them work even better, right? And then you can all come together, like I said, jigsaw puzzles, not only the cast but the crew as well, with their own little visions, and they come together to all meet in the middle to one bigger vision. And that's what those talks are with them beforehand about, is to get on the same page. You know, they have their ideas, you have your ideas, you want to meet in the middle, and then everybody's on the same page. And you know, I've been doing that. I did that with the DOP, I did that with our production designer, our costume designer. We have a production designer now, a costume designer, I can't remember if I said that. They've both sent me these amazing lookbooks for the costumes and the production design, and dude, it's fucking insane. We are now building a tent instead of filming in the actual sand dunes, and the tent build is already underway, which is looking pretty good.
So they've already started that?
They've already started. Well, my mate who's building it in his property.
Oh, wow. So we're actually going to be filming on that property?
Yes, my mate's property, which is just in Dural as well.
Wow.
So like that
I didn't
saves
realize
trouble.
it was like an ongoing. I thought it was something they just like set up on the day.
Not at all. He's building it from scratch.
That's amazing.
So
That's
he's
cool.
working with the production design. He's currently building the framework for it.
Yeah.
Then we're going to get the production designer to come in and with some cloth and stuff like that.
Is that expensive to do?
Moderately. To get that much cloth to cover about I think it's like 9 meters by 8 meters tent. So yeah, that's the deal with that, and that's looking really good. I've given it to one of my best mates who I trust him with it, so hopefully he comes through with the goods. But I trust him, and he's from what he's shown me already, it's already looking good. And what we're gonna do from there is then get the production designer to design the interior bit. We're gonna buy a bunch of sand as well, just to chuck around and make it look like it's somewhat in the desert. And yeah, so that's what we've been doing there. We've locked in the exterior location at Bondi Anglican Church in Bondi, which is really good. And then that means the last location to lock in is the rotunda in the garden, the structure that sets up in the garden. We're looking at Moore Park at the moment, which is good because it's close to Bondi Anglican. But
wait,
the only
didn't you have one locked in already?
No. Oh, we did, but then they came back with a huge price. So, and yeah, it was more like a residential area. You could see the buildings in the background. I wasn't too convinced. With Moore Park, it's just park. But the one one thing about Moore Park Rotunda. You look out, you can see a children's playground right in front. But I'm going there to visit in the next couple of days to see if we can just like angle it out.
Yeah.
Because we've looked at all the fucking rotundas, bro. I'm a rotunda fucking expert. You need a rotunda? I got you a rotunda, all right?
Would there be a way to, like, I know this sounds a bit goofy, but to VFX it out? Because surely it's simple to cover something over like that, and if it's in the background.
Yeah. Don't mention VFX around Lexi. She's wanted to fucking VFX this whole movie.
But I think that is actually quite simple. Like sky replacement and things like that are quite simple to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it should be all right because I think we don't have many options, and the Moore Park Rotunda is decent as well. And it has that kind of lead up, which is what I wanted. Yeah, and then other than that, we've got the whole budget for the film now, which is fantastic, one way or another. And then whatever we now raise from the crowdfunding will go towards other things like the Armourer, which has just came back, and we can 100% do that now because he's come back with a fucking good price. You know what I mean? So we're going to have an Armourer on set, which is going to be really sick. We have enough now for the makeup, which is really good. And yeah, we have enough for hard drives as well. I think the only thing that I haven't budgeted in for is post-production, but that's a later expense. So I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But other than that, I think that's literally everything.
Sweet.
That's been going on. And it's just like we're getting closer, and I have my table read tomorrow, which is really good.
Who are you getting to read?
Austin said he's going to come in and help out. And then Jay, if he responds to me, is going to come in and start filming the behind-the-scenes documentary. Yeah. Have you seen Lexi's behind-the-scenes doco that's been coming out? Good. Yeah. So, I kind of had a similar idea. More like Jay had an idea also to do it like The Office.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I wanted to do this so Jay could spark some creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in him, but also it helps both of us kind of ways. Yeah. I wanted a documentary made anyway, so you know, I trust him and he's going to make it however he makes it. It's completely up to him, so it's going to be good. And then we've got some cracking concept art that just Lockie keeps coming out with. Fucking so good. And then we've also got Lockie's been making me posters. Just like simplistic posters. I'll show you a couple after. Yeah. But he's still yet to lock that down. But yeah, that's everything, brother.
Sweet.
Yeah, are you excited?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can't wait. No, I'm really keen to see you direct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm excited too. I like to be as prepared beforehand, so I have to do as little on set.
Yeah. That's ideal.
Yeah. But it's funny, I haven't been stressed once this whole process, except for there was one part last week where I got a bit it was after the meeting with Connor, because I'm like, it just kind of put everything into perspective. Like, wow, this is a big task. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I've taken on a lot, but then I quickly that was the only little bit of stress that I had, and it lasted for about an hour, and now we're sweet again. I'm chilling, so hopefully it continues. But yeah, that's the progress this week, and we'll be back next week with even more. Alrighty, guys, we have reached the point in the podcast where it is time for the dependent variable. It is called the dependent variable because just like in a science experiment, the variable that changes is the dependent variable, and this topic changes every week. This week, Dan, you've actually, your first week and you're bloody coming up with ideas. What have you come up with for this week's dependent variable? What is the topic we'll be talking about?
So the topic I've come up with is if you had a child who was, let's say, 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
And you could choose 5 movies to show them, what would they be?
Okay, see, I read it as, what would you show your 5 or 6-year-old self back in the day?
Oh, yourself. I mean, it's kind of the same.
It's kind of the same. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, it does. It matches the same.
Actually, I think it's better if it's like your own kid because you're watching a movie and then deciding that it's good for them.
I think it's basically the same. But like, I'll explain it in terms of like me.
All right, go.
And then you explain. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So if I was showing my 5-6-year-old self movies back in the day, right, I thought, you have to include different variables such as, what can they understand?
Yeah.
What can they actually grasp and what can they appreciate? Not much because they're 5 or 6 years old, right? I would have shown myself the first Guardians of the Galaxy back when I was that age, even though I probably wasn't around. Now, the reason why, because Guardians of the Galaxy was the first time in cinemas where I actually felt something from a movie. And It was so apparent. It was the first time I felt pure emotions.
Wait, so you didn't feel something from a movie until you were like
well, that
13,
okay,
14?
massively. Like from when I remembered, like just this, it was more like the filmmaking fire igniting, and it wasn't until that movie that I kind of felt that, and it was amazing, and that's what I would show myself even younger. Because I'd be like, look, it's simple enough to fucking understand when they're fucking aliens or whatever. But just the feeling that it gives me, I feel like, if I'm having a kid, they would obviously, I would like to hope that they feel the exact same way that I did. And it's just a fun movie until this day, It's one of my favorite movies of all time, So Guardians of the Galaxy 1, then show them Now You See Me. Or I would show myself Now You See Me, because, I've grown up doing magic. And, I think that inspired unintentionally also how I come across and how I deal with film these days. And just the mix of both is just everything I've ever wanted in a film. And that's inspired me to create my first film, which was Tuesday Lessons. So why not show that to either my kid or the younger version of Josh to get him started a bit earlier on his magic journey. I would then show him Coco. I looked at my favourite films of all time, and this was one of the only Disney movies as well, and I think it's fantastic. Although younger Josh didn't appreciate musicals and, songs and stuff back then, I would force myself or my kid to watch Coco, because it's just a nice family story with amazing themes and stuff like that, and it mixes a bit of everything into the animated genre. So I would definitely show him Coco, make him feel something as well from that. I'll show him Shazam. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, because Shazam made me feel like I was back as a kid, wanting to become a superhero. And if I saw a movie like, especially the first Shazam, back when I was a kid, man, that would have been fucking awesome, because that exactly what was happening to that kid in that movie was exactly what I wanted to happen to me back in the day, Have these superpowers, when I was a kid, and save the world and stuff like that, which is why I love it so much, because it brings me back to those nostalgic feelings. So if I could match those nostalgic emotions with the emotions that I felt back in the day, I think it would have been a perfect kind of combination. So Shazam. Another one is I would show them Zack Snyder's Justice League, because as I said, I know it's 4 hours, but I don't give a fuck. That's one of the fucking best movies I've ever seen.
Are you serious?
I grew up loving DC films and DC characters, and I grew up watching the animated DC films and TV shows like Justice League Unlimited. We never had good DC films back in the day, except for like Christopher Reeve's Superman and stuff like that, which were the classics, right? So I would show, my younger self the Snyder Cut, because it's everything that I was watching as a kid animated come to life, and I fucking love that shit. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's all right. I wouldn't agree with Justice League. I think it's a bit crappy.
Ooh.
But, each to their own.
Yep. Have you seen the Snyder Cut?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's
shut the fuck up. Continue.
My thought is just adding length to a movie doesn't make it better. I mean, it is better than the one that came before, but like it's too long.
Better.
It's too long.
Nah, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Did you watch it in one go?
Yeah. I've
Really?
watched it about 4 times in one go. Yeah. 4 hours long.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Again, nostalgic. I grew up with DC characters.
Yeah,
I
fair
think I
enough.
nailed it, yeah.
All right, so number one, and honestly, if I could just pick one movie to show my kid, it would probably be this, The Lion King.
Yeah.
Obviously, the
It's one of
new
my girlfriend's favourite
remake.
movies,
No, I'm
yeah.
joking. The original.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bro. Sorry, that just clicked with me, the fucking remake. Yeah, right, cool.
No, the original. It's just got so many. Well, it's beautifully made, beautifully animated, and the themes are just, it resonates with children and adults and everyone who's, coming of age and learning about things. Like it's pretty dark in some points.
It
as
is.
well.
I was shit scared of that movie growing up,
Yeah.
brother. And like I couldn't watch the scene when Thingo appeared in the sky in the clouds, bro. I always skipped that part of the movie.
Yeah.
Shit scared me.
But yeah, just a beautiful movie with great themes about family. And
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Good choice.
Number 2 is Finding Nemo.
Yep.
Sort of similar, beautifully animated, I think that's
themes.
also as much for a parent because the main theme is about letting go.
You're a good parent.
Thank you.
I'm showing my kids Snyder Cut, bro.
Yeah. Well, I had to think like what is appropriate for a bloody 6-year-old.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, show him Logan.
Oh shit! Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so Finding Nemo, beautifully animated, good themes. What was the third? Oh yeah, so you know how you said Guardians was the first movie that made you feel.
Sure.
The first movie I remember watching and just being there, like I was in that world and I didn't want to come out of it, was Zathura.
Okay.
I watched it in cinemas when I was like 5 years old or something, and I remember I was just in that world.
Never heard of it.
You haven't heard of Zathura?
Zathura? Nah, man.
So it's like about these two kids. I think it's Jon Favreau that directed it.
No way.
But it's two kids that like play this space board game, and then it actually takes them like into space, into this world, and they're like.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking ages ago.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I loved that movie. That's just one of my childhood favorites.
For sure, man,
and
for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to show a kid that, just to take them into that world.
Understandable.
And then what was number 4? What was my other one? I'm trying to remember now. I remember School of Rock would be one of them. That's a movie that just like isn't as good as like it's. It's better than it should be.
These are all the movies I saw as a kid, but then because the question I thought was, what would you show yourself? I didn't include the ones that I already saw as a kid. You know. Yeah,
right. Yeah, School of Rock is just like a great coming of age.
Yeah, of course.
Just such a good movie. Can't go wrong with it. And then my honorable mention. Sorry, I have a fifth one. I'm trying to remember, but my honorable mention was The Incredibles. Love The Incredibles.
Incredible movie.
I realized when I watched it back that I know like every line. Yeah. Like I was watching the scenes, I was like, I know what he says. I know what they say.
My girlfriend does that. I don't know. Even my favorite movies, I can't quote line for line.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
And then just give me a sec, try and think of
No. One.
Oh yeah, I remember what it was.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Anyways, that's all we have time for today. Yeah, what? The Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, it's like, it's campy, it's fun. You just, such a good movie to show a kid.
What's your favorite Spider-Man film?
Are we including Amazing?
Everyone. Who's your favorite?
It's between
Spider-Man?
Tobey 1 and 2.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can't.
I actually don't know between 1 or 2. Like they're just both top tier.
Right, fair enough.
And then that's actually a really hard question because I don't know where I'd rank after that. Like the Tom Holland ones, they're good, but he doesn't really come into his own until No Way Home.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew Garfield is always by far.
He's an amazing actor, but he's
the Amazing Spider-Man, bro.
He's great, but do you like 1 and 2 of the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, they're on my list of favorite movies.
A lot of people don't like the second one, but I don't mind it.
A lot of people don't like Andrew Garfield's take on it, but I think now, especially, they wanted him more than anybody to be in No Way Home, and when he came on screen, it's just the reactions, man.
I've always just thought he's such a talented actor.
He is. He's a very talented actor. He has range, brother. He has range.
And his chemistry with Emma Stone in that movie is really good.
Insane. I can't believe they're even thinking about going a different direction and introducing
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Right.
Yeah, who was played by the girl from the Divergent series. I don't know.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, that one.
Really?
I think so. I might have to double check on that one. Don't quote me. What's her name?
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene
is that
Woodley, Spider-Man. Yes. It was going to be played by.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That would have been weird.
I know. Anyways, was that it for your films?
Yeah.
That was a good topic, my friend. I appreciate that. But now we come to the end of the podcast. And Dan, thank you so much again for coming on and being a part of this journey. And I can't wait to see where, this takes you in regards to your filmmaking journey and this amazing film that you got coming up about the deranged magician, brother.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that.
No worries.
Thanks for having me on.
All righty, I'm going to take it. What Austin usually says is it's time to wrap a little bow in the episode.
It's time to wrap a little bow in the episode.
Yeah, time to wrap a little bow in the episode. We can catch us on the pre-production meeting on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and then on Instagram and TikTok, the pre-prod pod. If you want your little fix of the pre-production meeting and clips and entertainment and connection and everything you want. But yeah, feel free to leave us a comment, like anything you want. Tell us it's shit. Tell us it's good. We appreciate everything. Dan, I'll see you next week, maybe.
See you then, Josh.
See you then.
Thanks,
and thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.